Join me on a journey into Bassland, where the laws of gravity and motion are different from any other musical dimension. Here's the vibe we're going to be getting into. First, let's build the harmonic cloud that will hover over our bass line. This chord is C minor 11, a type of chord that always delivers a canopy of vapor over a track. This lush, velvety keyboard sound is my electric piano instrument called All Roads, compatible with all DAWs and operating systems. Every preset is a shortcut to the most vibey aspects of the electric piano sound. You can get a copy of All Roads on my website, jaronlopez.com. This chord is built by stacking 6 notes diatonically in thirds. Diatonically meaning adhering to the notes of the scale, which is C minor, and thirds meaning every other note. We'll start on C, then skip the second note, D, and then add the third note, E flat. Repeat this process until you've got 6 notes. Skip F and add G, skip A flat and add B flat, skip C and add D, skip E flat and add F.
Why is this chord called C minor 11 if there are only 6 notes?
Because if we assign every note, including the notes we skipped, a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, you'll see that we have stacked up to the 11th note. Here's a shortcut to building this chord. In your left hand, build a C minor triad, C, E flat, and G. And in your right hand, play a B flat major triad, B flat, D, and F. Put them together, and you'll get C minor 11. There is a lot more fun to be had with chords, but this is as far as we will go for now so that we can get to the bass. If you're feeling overwhelmed by this theory talk or are wishing you had started learning keys and harmony earlier, worry not. You can get 264 chord progressions that use these chord colors and my Chords That Vibe MIDI packs. All of the chords are positioned and voiced perfectly so that you can drag them into your project and create something unique to you and your style of music. Don't let the homework vibe of music theory prevent you from injecting harmonic color into your music. You can get the Chords That Vibe MIDI packs bundled with the All Roads electric piano instrument on my website. You'll find the link in the description. Now let's embark on our journey to Bassland. We'll need to gather our musical materials for constructing a bass line. The most basic element of a bass line is the octave. Although very simple, I'll advise you to not overlook the octave. Some of the most powerful bass lines are built with the octave at their core. You've been advised. Perfect fifths are one of the most essential elements in the construction of bass lines.
What is a perfect fifth?
A perfect fifth is a distance of 7 semitones. Think of semitones as a musical ruler. When using a ruler, the beginning of the distance you are measuring is 0. The same is true when measuring musical distance. I'll show you. Start on C. This is 0. C sharp is 1 semitone, D is 2, D sharp is 3, E is 4, F is 5, F sharp is 6, and G is 7. G is a perfect fifth from C. This provides a stepping stone to C an octave higher. Think of perfect fifths as the default stride of bass. Each step is big and wide because the bass is one of the largest creatures in the ecosystem of our track. We can use other perfect fifths as additional stepping stones to elongate the bass instrument's path, allowing us to embellish and extend the steps and moves in the dance that is our bass line. We started on the root and moved up 7 semitones, a perfect fifth, to G. This time, instead of completing the move by going up to the octave, let's instead move a perfect fifth, 7 semitones, up from G. This brings us to D. If we go back to our chord and check in with these 3 notes, C, G, and D, observe how C and G are the 1 and 5 of the chord, while D is the 9th. Generally, as you rise in the stack of notes, the more colorful the notes become. 1 and 5, or C and G, are akin to primary colors, while D, the 9th, is more like a pastel tone. If you're feeling perplexed by all of this number talk, check out my Chords That Vibe playlist. There, you'll find a bunch of videos that break down this way of thinking of chords.
Okay, I think I got it. But why go to D instead of C?
C and D are both great bassline options, but they have very different feelings melodically. C feels concluded, final, resolved. C is the root, and typically, the root of the key or chord will feel resolved. D, however, has a very different feeling. D has inertia. It has movement. Melodically, it's being pulled somewhere. It's unresolved. This may not be obvious at first. Open your ears and try to sense which direction this D note sounds like it's heading. There is some type of sonic gravity at work here. What goes up must come down. Our bass, this large, hefty sound creature, has launched itself upward from C to G to D. While suspended in the air, lingering on D, its momentum is running out and its direction is turning downwards. Bass commonly functions as a harmonic anchor by reinforcing the root of the chord. Our D note is within the gravitational pull of the root, C, and is being melodically compelled to step down to C, completing its journey to the octave. But it doesn't stop here. We'll linger here for a moment, letting our bass catch its breath, and then we'll begin the journey back to where we started. We'll start our descent by going a perfect fifth below the root, landing our bass on F. F is the 11th of the chord. For bass lines, the 11th is a less stable note, but if we use it as a stepping stone to descend by another perfect fifth, we arrive at B flat, which is the 7th. B flat is similar to D when our bass was ascending. B flat has entered into the sonic gravitational pull of the root C. In this case, as momentum builds while the bass line is falling, the bass line must reach up at the last moment and catch its fall by playing the root C, which is 1 scale tone above. We have another moment of stability, or resolution. But what if our bass is feeling extra dangerous and wants to keep falling rather than grabbing hold of C? It could fall 1 more perfect fifth from B flat down to E flat. E flat is the minor third of C minor 11, which harmonically resolves down to the root, C. The notes we've encountered by exploring fifths, C, G, D, F, B flat, and E flat, happen to be the 6 notes of the C minor 11 chord that we are swimming within. Coincidence? By viewing these notes through the lens of perfect fifths, we can see how they can be used in a way that will suit the unique nature of bass.
Alright, cool. But how can we use distances other than perfect fifths? Because bass lines aren't entirely built from fifths, are they?
No, bass lines are not entirely perfect fifths. Here's the next step. When building a bass line using the pathway of perfect fifths, try to identify moments where melodic motion using smaller distances feels natural, or even better, feels inevitable. I'll show you. When building up to D using perfect fifths, we explored falling down to C from D. We can extend the journey by having D reach up to the next note in the scale, E flat, which is the minor third, one semitone away. It could then complete its journey to the root C by passing back through D. The spine of the bass line is still the perfect fifths, but now it is embellished with a melodic fragment. Starting with the same three notes built with perfect fifths resolving to C, let's interject B flat in between D and C. The melodic fragment surrounds the final note, C, with one note above, D, and one note below, B flat. This is sometimes referred to as upper and lower neighbors, B flat being the lower neighbor to C, and D being the upper neighbor to C. Now that we have our materials, let's put a bass line together. We're going to build several variations. You could use one of them, you could use all of them throughout an arrangement, or you could strike a balance somewhere in between. We'll start simple and build in complexity. Start with the root, C. Next, add G, a perfect fifth above C, on the 16th note right before beat 3. Emphasizing the weak beats or in-between rhythms will contribute to the groove. We'll end this initial journey on C, the root, in the higher octave, playing it twice. The first time on the 16th note right after beat 3, another in-between rhythm, and the second time right on beat 4. All of this takes place at the beginning of the loop. Let's add to the end of the loop. We'll return to G and go up to B flat, which is now in the gravitational pull of the root, compelling B flat to climb up to C. It then jumps all the way down to C in the lower octave. Let's spice it up a little bit. Let's swap out the second higher octave C for another G on the 16th note right before beat 4. Then on beat 4, we'll come down to F and then land on D. This D note now gives us the two perfect fifths stacked on top of one another, C, G, and D. And the G to F to D on top gives us a nice melodic fragment. Now we're going to double the loop length to 4 bars so that we can create some variation in bars 3 and 4. We'll remove D and in its place create a series of syncopated perfect fifths that move downward. The series starts with G, then F, then D, then B flat, and then F with its perfect fifth above. This lands us on C, where we'll move down to the lower neighbor, B flat, which resolves back to C, this time in the lower octave. Now we'll add a melodic fragment to the first 2 bars. On D, we'll add 2 upper neighbors, E flat, then F, and then we'll come back immediately to D. At the end of the loop, we'll very subtly change the rhythm and octave of F and B flat. Let's remove the melodic fragment for this variation. We'll add a second low C on beat 2, and then squeeze the rhythm of the G and C. Now they are continuous 16th notes, which gives the pattern more rhythmic drive. We'll do this in the second bar as well. Let's also add an extra G note leading down to C by perfect fifth on the last 16th note of each bar. For our last variation, we'll add our zestiest melodic fragment in the second bar. Going up higher than we have before, we'll jump up to G, and then move up to B flat and back to G. This is followed by two quick 16th notes, E flat and F. The F moves down by a perfect fifth to B flat, the lower neighbor to C, our root. So much of creating a tasty bass line is about finding creative ways to dance around the root of the chord. In the next section, the chord changes to F minor 11, the 4 chord. When crafting a bass line over chord changes, I like to see how much of the original shape of the bass line I can retain while adapting the notes to harmonically fit the new chord. This method allows me to focus on creating one strong bass line that I can modify and vary to fit the changing harmonies and chords of the track. Use these ideas to the extent that you find them relevant and useful, but above anything else, make a bass line and make music that feels true to you as a human. If you'd like to bring this Rhodes sound into your projects, grab a copy of All Rhodes, my electric piano instrument for all DAWs and operating systems. And if you're interested in 264 chord progressions with this kind of a vibe that will perfectly set you up to create your own bass lines and tracks, grab a copy of my Chords That Vibe Volume 1 and Volume 2 MIDI packs. If MIDI is not your cup of tea, I also offer a sample pack called Samples That Vibe Volume 2, All Rhodes, that features this Rhodes sound playing 30 of my favorite chord progressions from the MIDI packs in classic audio sample format. You'll find all of these individually and offered in bundle packages on my website, jaronlopez.com. I also offer co-producer and session musician services as well as private lessons over Zoom, all of which you can book on my website. And if you'd like to join a community where we get into vibed out stuff like this, join the Patreon. You'll find everything linked below. Until next time, stay based.